Welcome back, everybody, to the Big Moon Arcade. We're in the shop. We're going on part 3 here on the Vanguard fix. We got some cool stuff we're going to do here. So we'll get right to it. We pulled this piece off right here that we looked at here earlier. That was corroded. Here it is right here. We hit it with the brass wheel. Took all the corrosion off of it. We're going to paint it. We've also got some of the screws that we're going to paint too. But first, here's the easiest way to clean these fat chickens up. Alright, all the rust, brass wheel. Just get right in there and remove the corrosion removal team right here, baby. Alright, we're almost there. You can do this by hand with a piece of sandpaper too, but if you've got a wheel, man, it's so much easier, so much faster. It does a really nice job. Look at it. We'll put a nice coat of black paint on that, and it will look like a champ. All right, well, I'm going to do the other ones here off camera, and then we'll take these parts outside and we'll paint them up real quick. All right, so we gave them a good bath with some alcohol. We've got the radar scope PCB cage out here, which is the official paint holder thingy, which has super cool holes pre-made in it for your screws and everything. Do a little test spray here. Looks good. We're going to let that dry for a little while, and we will get back to it when it's ready. All right, and I thought we'd have a look at this grommet inside this Wico joystick. We're going to pop it apart here real quick, and we're going to get the grommet out, and we're going to have a look at it and see if it's toast like I think it is, because it feels like it's toast. I did order a new one last night. Of course, it's not here yet because it's coming from Arcade Parts and Repair, which is in Georgia. And, you know, it's going to take a few days. However, let me show you what I got. I got another Wico joystick right over here that I believe has a good grommet in it. So, being that I'm impatient, and I know you are too, if we may just take the part out of the good one and put in here. But we're going to take this one apart first and have a look and see what kind of situation we're dealing with. All right, everybody, we had a little camera malfunction. I was doing a little editing on the video for this part and discovered that some of this joystick video got foul rooted. So long story short is the grommet inside this joystick that was in the machine was shot. I had some video of that. It got jacked up. Trust me, it was shot. So we took the joystick out of the salvaged one that we had, which is right here, okay? And the grommet in this one was actually in good shape. So we put the grommet in that one in the Vanguard, and we fixed it. So it's good to go. That's the long story short. You know, I wanted to show you the grommet, but, you know, just picture a rubber grommet that's got a bunch of splits in it and then one that doesn't, and that's pretty much what it was. So, you know, we cleaned it up, put it back together, and here you go. And it feels really super premium. It's nice, and it's the way it should be now. So now I do have the bolts removed here. Those are painting. I've just got one holding it in there. So we'll have all that back together in a little bit. And so that kind of catches you up to speed on what the joystick situation was. So anyway, apologize for that. I'm just going to blame it on a technical problem. I'm sure it was operator error, but I don't know what happened. It just, the video turned out all sideways and goofy. So this is just to catch you up on the joystick situation. So the joystick should be boss now, ready to go. Vanguard City, Big Moon Arcade approved, etc. So all right, there it is. So we pulled the marquee out, and so we can get a look at everything inside of here. And like the rest of the machine, looks really good. A couple little cobwebs we'll get rid of, but you know, these Centuri marquees, I'm gonna set it down over here, have a reputation for flaking and getting, you know, pretty bad. This one's very nice. Got a little sticker on here from somewhere where it lived a life at one point. This is on the outside, so we can peel it off with no fear, because these are printed on the back. They're reverse printed. So what we're going to do is something I almost always do, just as a precautionary. Looks really great. I'm going to squirt a coat of triple thick on the back of this, just to make sure that it always stays looking like it does now. It'll protect it, and it'll help it from flaking in the future. Anything that's maybe started to flake, like you take a little corner like this or something that started to chip, you know, when the screen printing's coming off, it'll preserve that. So it's a great thing to do. It's really easy. And first thing we'll do is get a paper towel here. You don't ever want to use any detergent on this or Windex or anything, because this stuff can come off. If this is dirty, you're way better off just to leave it dirty and triple thick over it than to try to remove the dirt, because 9 times out of 10, if you try to remove the dirt that's on here, you'll remove the screen printing with it. It's just not worth it. Ask me how I know. So we're gonna just bring this over here. Set it right here. Looks like a good spot. And we've got some, here's the stuff right here. Triple thick, you can get it anywhere. Clear glaze. And we're not gonna go crazy with it. We're just gonna put a coat on it. And that's good enough. Just like that. Put the triple thick up, and we'll just let that stuff dry, and that'll keep it beautiful for the rest of eternity. Okay, well, there we go. So I washed the control panel real nice, and look at it. Oh gosh, it's hard to believe that's 40 something years old, isn't it? So all we need to really do now is mess with these screw heads. I don't like them because they look rusty. They are rusty, that's why they look rusty, because they are. But we can, like I said, we'll get that fixed here. I'm gonna do that right now, and when I find something else that's interesting, I'll show it to you. We'll be playing Vanguard here pretty soon. All we need is a cap kit, and I'd have this monitor rebuilt, and we'd be going to town. Okay. All right, everybody, we're moving along here on part 3, and I just wanted to kind of give you a little update on a few things that we have finished. Now, look at those pretty carriage bolts. Okay, remember how rusty those were? And it's just one of these little things that you can do that can really, really complexion of how something looks. You know, bright and shiny, pretty, just looks nice. Magic erasered the control panel, it looks nice. And this metal piece, remember that was all corroded? There's one of my fingerprints on it, you can see. I need to wash that off. And but we got that back installed, and look how nice that looks. The bracket up here on the top, I'll get a little light on it so you can see it better. It's just sitting there. I didn't bolt it down yet because we got to wash the top off real good. I'll probably paint the top too before we're done, but how nice that looks. Real sharp. We got a new lock installed on the door right here, okay? Like that. Everything's really super cool. And also, here on the back, we also got our new lock installed. So we don't have that little screw right there. Okay, nothing wrong with the screw, but you know, if you can have the lock and have it be like it was, that's actually extra cool. So, and you can see, we're gonna wash this up a little bit better. Maybe paint this, maybe take this off. I think it's got a little rust on it. We'll get it all cleaned up real slick. All we did was give it a little wipe down, but so yeah, all we really need to do is rebuild the monitor. We're waiting on our parts, and I misspoke earlier. I said Arcade Parts and Repair. That's in Montana. I actually ordered this cap kit from arcadeshop.com, which is in Georgia. I don't know if you caught that, but I misspoke earlier about that. So, correction. We got to fix this. Shouldn't be any big deal. We'll clean it up. We'll Bondo that. We'll make it all beautiful. And we'll get the T-molding back in place. Everything will be cool. The leg levelers are a little limp. We're going to have to do something with that. So, yeah, they just, you can move them, you can screw them in and out, and they don't really keep their position. So we're going to have to address that. You can see how it's kind of sitting here. You know, it's cattywampus, because the leg levelers aren't doing their job. So we're going to have to fix that. Shouldn't be any big deal, but that's really about it. Now, here's something really interesting, if you'll recall. This game was real noisy. There was a lot of kind of white noise coming through the speaker. Totally normal for this particular game, believe it or not. It's very well documented. And I thought I'd heard that back in the day. I went back and did some research, and sure enough, there's some people out there that know a lot more about this and have been doing it a lot longer than me that have documented that this is just a very noisy game. Of course, when it's in the arcade with the other games going around it, you don't hear it. When you're playing it, you don't hear it. But when it just sits there, it just like kind of has white noise, like it's breathing on you. So, yeah, well, I'm going to take you inside here real quick. I'm going to show you one other thing before we wrap up part 3 that's kind of cool about Vanguard. So, you know, you always hear me talking about your people. Well, Cassandra is one of my people, and she wrote this book. And Cassandra lives in Seattle, Washington. She has a YouTube channel called The Vintage Arcade Gal. And I will say she is a probably first-rate banner arcade historian. Her knowledge is vast in the subject matter. It's always been an interesting thing for her. She has a very good knack for research, and she makes some wonderful, wonderful documentaries. Entertaining and extremely educational if you're into this kind of thing. And she wrote this book, and I bought a copy on Amazon, and you can buy a copy too. And you know, it's a mass amount of information. It's a great reference. It's kind of a price guide, but you know, there's a ton of just like history and factual stuff in it too. And since we're talking about Vanguard, she's got a picture of a Vanguard cocktail in here. I've never even seen one of those. 7,000 to 11,000 Vanguards ever made. Wow. Okay. Well, who knew? Interesting. This is really cool. The music in Vanguard is from Flash Gordon and Star Trek The Motion Picture without permission. That's just what they did. They're like, yeah, let's just do it. What are they going to do? And they did. And as far as I know, they got away with it. So one of the very first games that had digital speech. It does, and it's really super cool. It's got power-ups. One of the very first games that had power-ups, that's real common. I mean, Mario and everybody, everybody's got power-ups now. This is one of the first ones. It's a scrolling shooter. It's one of the first ones. So anyway, super cool fact about Vanguard. So, wherever you are and whoever you are, we appreciate you coming along to the big moon and spending some time with us. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, then I don't know what you're waiting for. You might as well just go ahead and do it, because, if you're watching this and you've come this far and you're not subscribed, then, I don't even know what you're doing, so just do it. And, we're just doing this because we love old arcade games, and we like sharing them. We love fixing them, and we love playing them. And, it's just the whole package deal. And so, take care of your people, whoever they are. And we'll look forward to seeing everybody on the next video, which is going to be part 4. I'm just going to tell you now, part 4 might be a little bit before I get it out. It's going to be the monitor rebuild and all that. I got a real busy week coming up here. I'm not going to have a lot of time, so it might be a week or so before part 4 hits the street. So don't freak out, people. If you're chomping at the bit and freaking out and having withdrawals for part 4, I'm just telling you, just don't freak out. It's coming. It'll be okay. We'll see everybody on the next video.